My beloved brothers and sisters, life is a journey filled with challenges, trials, and moments of joy. If we wish to live better, if we want to find true success in both this world and the next, we must look no further than the life of Prophet Muhammad. His blessed life is not just history, it is a guidebook filled with timeless lessons for every human being. From his earliest days, he showed us honesty and trustworthiness, teaching us that no matter where we are in life, our character defines us more than our status, our wealth, or our achievements. He lived in a society full of injustice and cruelty, yet he rose above it by showing compassion, fairness, and truth. One of the most powerful lessons we can learn is patience. When insulted, when harmed, and when faced with enemies, he responded not with anger, but with wisdom and calmness. Today, if we adopt even a fraction of that patience in our families, our workplaces, and our communities, our lives will transform. He taught us to smile even when our hearts carry burdens. A smile is charity, a gift to others that costs us nothing but gives so much. He reminded us to care for the poor, the needy, and the orphans, because greatness is not in how much we collect, but in how much we give. He showed us humility at the height of power. Even when he had the keys to Makkah, the city that once rejected him, he entered with his head bowed in gratitude to Allah, teaching us that victory is not a reason for arrogance, but a reminder of Allah's mercy. Forgiveness was one of his greatest lessons. He forgave those who harmed him, insulted him, and even those who plotted to kill him. Imagine how much lighter our lives would be if we learned to let go of grudges, to release the poison of hatred, and to embrace peace in our hearts. And above all, he taught us to put our trust in Allah. When things seemed impossible, when the world turned against him, he relied on the Almighty. That reliance brought him peace, strength, and unwavering determination. If we too learn to trust Allah completely, no storm will ever break us. My brothers and sisters, living better is not about wealth, fame, or material possessions. It is about living with purpose, kindness, integrity, and faith. The 21 lessons from the life of Prophet Muhammad are not distant ideals. They are practical, powerful, and possible. If we bring them into our daily lives, we will not only live better ourselves, but we will inspire others to live better too. Honesty is the foundation of a successful life. And when we look at the life of Prophet Muhammad, we see that truthfulness was at the very core of his character even before revelation came to him. He was known among his people as Al-Amin, the trustworthy, and as Sadiq, the truthful. These titles were not given lightly. They were earned through years of consistent honesty in every aspect of life, whether in business, in family matters, or in his interactions with strangers. Today, when people chase shortcuts and compromises, when truth is often sacrificed for temporary gain, the lesson of honesty shines even brighter. If we wish to build lasting success, whether in our spiritual life, our personal relationships, or our careers, there is no path more powerful, no strategy more effective than living with honesty. Honesty is not just about speaking the truth with words. It is about living the truth in our actions. It means being transparent in our dealings, sincere in our intentions, and trustworthy when people place their trust in us. Many people think of success only in terms of wealth or recognition. But what use is wealth if it is built on lies? What benefit is recognition if it is gained through deception? Sooner or later, dishonesty destroys everything it touches, while honesty strengthens and preserves every relationship and every effort. Honesty is like a seed planted deep in the soil. It may take time to grow. It may not show results overnight, but when it does, it becomes a tree that offers shade, fruit, and beauty for generations. When we are honest, we don't need to remember what lies we told. We don't live with fear of being exposed, and we don't carry the heavy burden of guilt. Honesty liberates the soul. It frees us from the chains of deceit and builds an inner peace that no wealth or power can buy. It creates trust, and trust is the foundation of all healthy human interaction. A family built on honesty will stand strong even through trials, while a family built on lies will collapse under the smallest storm. A business built on honesty will win the loyalty of people and grow steadily, while a business built on cheating may prosper for a short time, but will eventually crumble. A person who lives with honesty carries a light in their heart, and that light shines through their character wherever they go. The Prophet showed us that honesty is not negotiable. Even when it is difficult, he could have lied to gain the support of powerful leaders. He could have bent the truth to escape persecution, but he never did. He endured hardship and suffering, but he never compromised on truth. That is why his message carried such power, because people knew that if Muhammad said something, it was true. Imagine what our lives would look like if people could rely on our words with the same confidence. Imagine what our relationships, our businesses, our friendships, and our communities would become if honesty was our unshakable principle. Honesty also means being true to ourselves. How often do people pretend to be what they are not, just to please others or to fit in? That kind of dishonesty only breeds unhappiness and self-hatred. When we are honest with ourselves, we acknowledge our strengths and weaknesses. We accept our flaws and strive to improve them. That self-honesty makes us humble, and humility opens the door to growth. A person who admits their mistakes can correct them, but a person who hides behind lies will remain stuck in the same place. The Prophet taught us that admitting mistakes and seeking forgiveness is a sign of strength, not weakness. Honesty with ourselves and with Allah brings us closer to sincerity in worship, because we no longer perform acts for show, but we perform them out of genuine faith. Another powerful effect of honesty is how it inspires others. When we live truthfully, people around us begin to feel safe. They begin to trust us, and they are motivated to be honest too. In a world where dishonesty is widespread, an honest person shines like a star in the dark sky. Such people are rare, and that is why they are valued. If you want to stand out, if you want people to respect you, if you want to leave a legacy that outlives you, honesty is the key. Wealth fades, status changes, fame dies, but the reputation of being an honest person lasts long after one's departure from this world. Success built on honesty is not just worldly, it is eternal. The Prophet told us that truthfulness leads to righteousness, and righteousness leads to paradise. When we choose honesty, we are not just choosing to improve our lives in this world, but we are investing in our eternal life as well. Even if honesty brings difficulty at times, that difficulty is temporary, while the reward of honesty is everlasting. Every time we speak the truth, every time we refuse to deceive, every time we stand firm for what is right even when it costs us, we are walking the path of the Prophet, and that path leads to nothing but goodness. So, let us make honesty the foundation of our lives. Let us teach it to our children not just with words, but with example. Let us bring honesty into our workplaces, into our homes, into our friendships, and into our dealings with every human being we encounter. If we live honestly, we may not become the wealthiest or the most powerful, but we will live with dignity, with peace, and with blessings from Allah that no one can take away. And that, without a doubt, is the truest form of success. Patience turns trials into blessings. And this is a lesson that shines throughout the life of Prophet Muhammad. From the moment he received revelation, his life was filled with challenges that would break the spirit of any ordinary person. He was mocked, insulted, rejected by his own people, and driven out of his beloved city of Mecca. He faced hunger, poverty, loss of loved ones, and the battles where the odds were stacked against him. Yet, in every situation, he responded with patience, never allowing anger or despair to dictate his actions. This patience was not weakness, it was strength, discipline, and unwavering trust in Allah. Through patience, trials became opportunities for growth, suffering became a source of reward, and hardship became a path to ultimate success. Patience is not just about waiting for difficulties to pass. It is about how we behave while we wait. When life becomes heavy, when the tests come one after another, patience means holding firm without complaining against the decree of Allah. It means continuing to do what is right even when it feels difficult. It means keeping faith alive in the heart, knowing that every hardship has an end and every trial carries hidden blessings. The Quran reminds us that Allah is with those who are patient. Imagine what it means to have Allah by your side, supporting you, guiding you, and granting you relief at the right time. Patience is the bridge between pain and peace, between hardship and ease, between despair and hope. The Prophet taught us that patience takes many forms. It is not only in the face of suffering, but also in controlling our anger, in resisting temptation, in staying committed to prayer, and in holding on to good character even when others are unjust. One of the most powerful examples is how he dealt with people who insulted him. Instead of lashing out in anger or seeking revenge, he remained calm, often responding with words of wisdom or with silence. This is a lesson for us today, when anger and quick reactions have become so common. A single insult on social media, a harsh word from a friend, or a setback in life can push people into bitterness and rage. But patience teaches us to pause, to breathe, and to respond with dignity. That pause is not weakness, it is power. It protects us from saying or doing something we will regret and keeps our hearts pure. Trials are a part of life, and no one is free from them. Wealth cannot protect us from loss, power cannot protect us from grief, and health cannot protect us from aging. The only shield we have is patience. When we accept that life will not always go as planned, that hardships are a natural part of the human journey, we stop seeing them as punishments and start seeing them as opportunities. Every trial becomes a chance to grow closer to Allah, to strengthen our faith, and to earn reward that will last forever. The Prophet reminded us that no fatigue, no illness, no worry, no grief, not even a thorn that pricks a believer goes without Allah erasing some of their sins. This is the hidden blessing of patience, that what feels painful in the moment is actually cleansing us, elevating us, and preparing us for something greater. Patience also brings peace to the heart. Many people suffer not just from the trials themselves, but from resisting them, fighting them, and refusing to accept them. They ask, why me, why now, why this? But when we accept with patience that every decree is from Allah, our hearts find calmness. We begin to see that even in loss, there is wisdom, even in delay. There is mercy, even in pain. There is love from the Creator who knows what we do not know. With patience, we learn to trust the timing of Allah, realizing that the path He chooses for us is far better than the one we would choose for ourselves. Another lesson is that patience multiplies our strength. When we rush, when we react in anger, when we give up too quickly, we waste energy and create more harm than good. But patience allows us to endure with resilience, to take one step at a time, and to remain consistent in our efforts. Many people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lack patience. They want instant results, instant success, instant happiness. But the truth is, everything valuable requires time. Seeds need time to grow into trees, knowledge needs time to turn into wisdom, and struggles need time to turn into achievements. The Prophet A showed us through his life that victories are built slowly through years of patience, not through sudden bursts of ease. Patience also elevates our character. It makes us gentle, compassionate, and understanding. When we are patient, we become less judgmental of others because we know everyone is fighting their own battles. We learn to forgive, to overlook, to give people time to improve, just as we need time ourselves. This builds stronger families, healthier communities, and deeper bonds of brotherhood. Without patience, relationships fall apart quickly, communities break down, and even the smallest misunderstandings turn into conflicts. But with patience, hearts remain connected and unity becomes possible. Ultimately, patience leads us to paradise. The Quran describes the people of patience as those who will be rewarded without measure. This means that Allah's generosity for patience is beyond human comprehension. Every tear we hold back, every anger we control, every temptation we resist, every hardship we bear patiently becomes a source of eternal reward. This is why patience is not just a virtue, it is a path to eternal success. So let us make patience a part of our daily lives. When difficulties come, let us remind ourselves that this too shall pass. When anger rises, let us pause and choose calmness. When desires tempt us, let us hold firm to what is right. And when we worship, let us remain consistent even when it feels heavy. If we adopt patience as a way of life, our trials will no longer break us but build us. Our hardships will no longer crush us but purify us, and our lives will no longer be filled with despair but with hope. Through patience, every test becomes a blessing, and every moment of pain becomes a step closer to Allah. A smile is charity and a form of spreading light, and this lesson from the Prophet Muhammad carries a depth that many people overlook. A smile seems small, effortless, and ordinary, but in reality it carries power, healing, and reward far beyond what we can imagine. The Prophet taught us that even something as simple as a smile is considered an act of charity because it uplifts the heart of another person. It spreads positivity, and it strengthens the bonds of love and brotherhood within society. When we smile sincerely, it is more than just a facial expression. It is a reflection of a heart filled with kindness, hope, and compassion. In a world where people are burdened with stress, worries, and endless struggles, a smile can act like a ray of light in darkness. Imagine someone carrying the weight of sadness or anxiety, and then you greet them with a warm, genuine smile. That moment alone can lift their spirits, make them feel noticed, valued, and appreciated. The Prophet used to smile often, and his companions described his smile as something that would brighten the room and melt away the heaviness of their hearts. He smiled not only with those close to him, but with strangers, with children, and even in moments of hardship. This teaches us that smiling is not limited to times when we feel happy. It is an act of worship and generosity that we can give regardless of our mood. Smiling builds human connections in ways words often cannot. A smile can break barriers between strangers, it can dissolve tension in heated arguments, and it can open doors to friendships and trust. In families, when parents smile at their children, they create a sense of safety and warmth that shapes the child's emotional health. In marriages, when spouses smile at one another, it fosters love and reassurance. In communities, when neighbors and friends exchange smiles, it creates a culture of peace and unity. Without smiles, relationships become cold, mechanical, and distant. But with them, hearts draw closer, misunderstandings soften, and love grows. It is important to understand that a smile must be sincere. A fake or forced smile lacks the warmth that touches hearts. The Prophet smiled out of genuine concern, love, and kindness for people. His smile was a reflection of his mercy and compassion, not a tool of manipulation. For us, this means we should cultivate sincerity in our hearts so that our smiles are true expressions of goodwill. When you smile sincerely, people can feel it. It reaches their heart and not just their eyes. This sincerity is what makes a smile powerful enough to be considered charity in the sight of Allah. Another hidden beauty of smiling is that it benefits both the giver and the receiver. Studies in modern science even show that smiling releases hormones that reduce stress and increase happiness. Spiritually, when we make others happy, Allah increases our own happiness. The Prophet showed us that small acts of kindness bring immense reward, and a smile is among the easiest acts we can give. It costs nothing, requires no effort, and can be given to anyone at any time. Yet its impact is immeasurable. How many times has a simple smile saved someone from feeling lonely or encouraged them to keep going in a difficult moment? We may never know the full impact of our smiles, but Allah does, and He rewards us for them. Smiling is also a form of dawah, an invitation to goodness. Many people are drawn to Islam not by complex arguments, but by the good character and welcoming nature of Muslims. A smile shows gentleness, humility, and openness. It makes others feel safe in our presence. In today's world, where people often associate religion with harshness or rigidity, a sincere smile can counter that narrative and show the true mercy of Islam. A Muslim who smiles at others is representing the Sunnah of the Prophet in a simple yet profound way. There are also times when smiling requires strength. When you are going through trials, when you feel sadness, or when life feels overwhelming, choosing to smile can be an act of courage. It shows resilience, hope, and trust in Allah. It does not mean ignoring your pain or pretending everything is fine, but it means you refuse to let hardship steal your kindness. The Prophet himself faced immense sorrow, yet he still smiled at his companions, reminding them to remain hopeful and strong. When we smile in our own times of hardship, we inspire others to stay positive, and we earn reward for spreading light even while carrying our own burdens. Smiling also teaches us humility. When you smile at someone, you are acknowledging their worth. You are saying, I see you, I value you, and I wish goodness for you. It is a way of lowering arrogance and showing that no matter who we are, rich or poor, powerful or weak, we are all human beings in need of kindness. The Prophet smiled at servants, at children, at the elderly, and at the poor, never making anyone feel inferior. This Sunnah reminds us that greatness is not in making others feel small, but in lifting them up through love and respect. Ultimately, a smile is more than just an expression. It is a form of worship, a form of charity, and a reflection of faith. When we smile, we spread light in a world filled with darkness, we heal hearts burdened with pain, and we earn reward from Allah with something as small as a movement of our lips. It is a gift that multiplies endlessly. When you smile at someone, they are more likely to smile at another, and that ripple effect can change the mood of an entire community. So let us revive this Sunnah. Let us smile at our parents, at our children, at our neighbors, at our colleagues, and even at strangers. Let us smile when we feel joy, and let us smile even when life feels heavy, trusting that Allah is with us. A smile is not just a small act. It is a light we can spread in every corner of our lives, a light that softens hearts, builds bridges, and brings us closer to Allah. True wealth lies in generosity, not accumulation, and this is a lesson that stands out clearly in the life and teachings of Prophet Muhammad. In a world where people are constantly chasing more money, more possessions, more status, we are reminded that real richness is not measured by what we hold in our hands, but by what we give from our hearts. The Prophet taught that wealth does not decrease by charity, and this simple yet powerful truth shows us that generosity multiplies blessings while greed only increases emptiness. When a person gives sincerely for the sake of Allah, they discover a richness far greater than material wealth, a richness of soul, contentment, and peace that no amount of possessions can buy. Throughout his life, the Prophet lived simply despite having opportunities to accumulate great wealth. When gifts or treasures came his way, he would distribute them among the poor and needy without hesitation. He never allowed wealth to settle in his heart because he knew that possessions are temporary, while generosity leaves a legacy that lasts forever. He showed us that the real value of wealth is in how it is used, not in how much of it we hoard. Even when he had very little, he gave to others, reminding us that generosity is not about the size of the gift, but about the sincerity behind it. A small act of giving can carry immense weight when it comes from a heart that trusts Allah. Generosity builds bonds in society in a way that hoarding wealth never can. When we share with those in need, we uplift them, we bring hope into their lives, and we strengthen the ties of compassion and love between people. Wealth that is accumulated for selfish reasons creates walls between the rich and the poor, but generosity builds bridges. The Prophet encouraged us to care for orphans, feed the hungry, and clothe those who have little, because through these acts we purify not only our wealth but also our hearts. A society that practices generosity is one where no one is left abandoned, where dignity is preserved, and where the blessings of Allah continue to pour down. There is also a deeper spiritual truth in generosity. When we give, we are expressing trust in Allah as the true provider. We are admitting that what we have is not really ours, it is a gift from Allah, and He has entrusted us to use it wisely. By giving, we are saying we do not fear poverty, because we know Allah is the one who sustains us. The Prophet reminded us that charity does not decrease wealth, because every act of generosity opens the door to more blessings. What we give for the sake of Allah is never lost. It is an investment that awaits us in the hereafter, multiplied many times over. This means that every coin we give, every meal we provide, every smile we bring to a struggling person is actually wealth stored in a place where it will never be diminished. Generosity also cleanses the heart from greed and selfishness. Hoarding wealth creates a hunger that can never be satisfied, because no matter how much a person has, they will always want more. But when we give, we break that cycle of endless wanting. We learn to be content, to appreciate what we have, and to value people over possessions. The Prophet taught that true richness is not having a lot of possessions, but richness of the soul. A generous person feels this richness deeply, because they know that their happiness is not tied to their bank account, but to the goodness they spread in the lives of others. Generosity comes in many forms, not just in giving money. It can be sharing knowledge, offering time, lending a helping hand, or simply giving kind words. The Prophet said that even a smile is charity, reminding us that everyone, regardless of their financial status, has something to give. This means no one is excluded from the opportunity to be generous. Whether rich or poor, young or old, every person can contribute in some way. What matters is the spirit of generosity, the willingness to give what we can, with sincerity, seeking only the pleasure of Allah. Another profound effect of generosity is the peace it brings to the giver. When we hold on tightly to wealth, we live in constant fear of losing it. But when we give freely, we let go of that fear and replace it with trust in Allah. This trust brings inner peace and removes the anxiety that comes with greed. Generosity also softens the heart, making us more compassionate and empathetic. A generous person sees the struggles of others not as their burden, but as an opportunity to serve. This mindset transforms the way we interact with the world, turning selfishness into selflessness and isolation into connection. Generosity also has the power to inspire others. When people witness kindness and giving, they are motivated to do the same. One act of generosity can create a chain reaction that uplifts entire communities. The Prophet A himself was the most generous of people, and his companions followed his example, creating a society where giving was a natural part of life. If we revive this spirit in our own communities today, we will see poverty reduced, love increased, and unity strengthened. Ultimately, the true wealth of a person is not counted in numbers or stored in banks, but it is measured in how much they give for the sake of Allah. When we leave this world, we take nothing with us except our deeds, and the wealth we hoarded will be left behind, but the wealth we gave away will continue to benefit us in the hereafter. This is why generosity is not a loss but the greatest gain, not a weakness but a sign of strength and faith. So let us live by the principle that true wealth lies in generosity. Let us give with open hearts, without fear, without hesitation, and without expectation of return. Whether it is wealth, time, knowledge, or kindness, let us share it sincerely for the sake of Allah. By doing so, we will discover the richness of the soul, the peace of contentment, and the blessings that multiply both in this world and in the next. For indeed, the generous are those who are truly wealthy, and the legacy of kindness will live on long after they are gone. Humility in success is greater than pride in achievement, and this is a lesson that shines brightly in the life of Prophet Muhammad. True greatness is not shown when a person reaches the peak of success and lifts themselves above others, but when they bow their head in gratitude and remain humble despite having every reason to boast. The Prophet A achieved victories that no other human has achieved. He was chosen as the final messenger of Allah. He united tribes that had been enemies for centuries. He conquered Makkah without shedding unnecessary blood, and he established a community built on faith, justice, and compassion. Yet, through all of this, he lived simply, walked among his people without guards, and never demanded privilege or special treatment. His humility was a sign of his closeness to Allah, and it taught his followers that pride only distances us from our Creator, while humility brings us honor in His sight. When a person achieves something, whether it is wealth, status, knowledge, or influence, the natural temptation is to feel superior. Pride whispers that our success is due to our own abilities, forgetting that it is Allah who grants every opportunity and every blessing. Humility reminds us that success is a gift, not a personal possession. The Prophet A demonstrated this perfectly. On the day he entered Makkah victorious, he did not ride in with his head held high or with arrogance. Instead, he bowed his head so low in gratitude to Allah that his forehead nearly touched his camel's saddle. Here was the greatest man, returning to the city that once rejected him, mocked him, and forced him into exile, and yet he chose humility over pride. This moment teaches us that humility is not weakness. It is strength, self-control, and a sign of true nobility. Humility in success also ensures that our achievements benefit others and not just ourselves. A proud person builds walls around themselves, isolating others and pushing people away. But a humble person builds bridges, lifting others up and sharing opportunities. When we remain humble after success, people are drawn to us, they trust us, and they feel inspired by us. Pride may bring temporary admiration, but it eventually breeds resentment and envy. Humility, on the other hand, leaves a legacy of respect and love that endures. The Prophet A never placed himself above the people. He sat with them, ate with them, laughed with them, and listened to them. He showed that leadership is not about being served, but about serving others. Another lesson is that humility protects us from arrogance, which is one of the most destructive diseases of the heart. The Prophet A warned that a person with even an atom's weight of arrogance will not enter paradise. This shows us how dangerous pride is. It blinds us to the truth, makes us look down on others, and distances us from Allah. Success without humility is like fire without control. It destroys the one who holds it. Humility, however, keeps the heart soft, reminding us that no matter how far we rise, we are still servants of Allah, dependent on His mercy at every moment. Humility also opens the door to continuous growth. A proud person believes they know it all, so they stop learning. But a humble person admits their limitations and remains open to knowledge, correction, and improvement. This is why humility leads to greater success, because it allows us to keep progressing without being blinded by ego. The Prophet A, despite being the most knowledgeable of all, would still listen attentively, seek advice, and acknowledge when he did not know something. This humility in knowledge is